Don't worry, Timekeeper. I'll defend myself. Back in the Foundation, I once won a public debate of a similar nature. This is my duty. I won't let it get in the way of the team's investigation.
Sonetto.
By our tradition, Miss Sonetto will be given the poisoned wine, so she will be muted and stay that way forever. However, Sophia raised her objection against the decision. After giving the matter some discreet thought, I have decided it is necessary to hold an assembly and take care of it democratically. Those of you who agree to the death sentence may remain seated. Those of you who wish to commute Miss Sonetto's punishment, please put your pebble into the pot in the middle of the hall. Now, Miss Sonetto, Miss Vertin, you may defend yourselves. Until the sand in this hourglass falls to the bottom.
I am Sonetto from St. Pavla Foundation. I wish all the honorable audiences here would lend me their ears to hear my defense as a humanitarian gesture.
What number are you? Defendant, the court requires an answer. What is your number?
What? Me? No, I don't have a number.
Don't waste our time. People without a number cannot stand in the Hall of Truth. All her words are void. Sentence her to death now!
'42's argument is valid. Defenders, what do you wish to contend?
What? It's valid? Objection! According to the record, the last time we inflicted severe punishment was in 1980 to a visitor who ate beans. He ate a carbuncle that feeds on beans. Then he was sentenced to death according to the said theory. In our scripture, eating beans is the most evil sin, which undoubtedly fits the most severe punishment. But if we are now executing people for breaking the silence at the assembly, how would it reflect our attitude towards the consumption of beans? Has the latter become less sinful? I suggest Sonetto's punishment to be commuted. A good argument.
37's argument is deemed valid. The debate will continue.
Objection. The punishment for eating beans is to throw the offenders into the Gorgon current, while the punishment for the silence breaker is to drink poisoned wine. Among all the punishments we have, there's no other punishment more dreadful than being thrown into the Gorgon current. Because eternity and infinity are the two things we have the least knowledge of, which makes them the most ghastly punishments among all. Giving her the poisoned wine doesn't make the consumption of beans less sinful. Her argument is invalid.
Objection! Both of the crimes would fall into the same category if we are taking the punishment as a frame of reference, which is death.
Objection! The two crimes in question are not commensurable, which makes your comparison invalid.
What's this? I'm completely lost in this irrational debate. I see. So that's how it works. Timekeeper?
Relax. I will help you. I object. By quoting 42's first argument, people without a number cannot stand in the Hall of Truth. In that case, it's not possible for Sonetto to commit a crime in the Hall of Truth, because she can't even be in the hall.
What?
Good point, Vertin. This is our chance to out-argue them. Given that it could be found, time to check my calculation. 4 is above all. Rational or troublesome. Given that it could be found, intersect and divide. Or troublesome. Given that intersect and divide.
These are merely clumsy sophisms. We've all seen her break the maxim.
Objection! What you see cannot be submitted to the court as a transcendental fact. It's not...
Objection sustained. Please, ladies and gentlemen, keep the debate logically consistent.
Since Sonetto has no number, and a person without a number does not exist before the truth, Sonetto thus didn't offend your truth. She didn't break any rules. It could be the final demonstration. Intersect and divide. Welcome to the world of numbers. Rational. A perfect given that. Are you irrational numbers? Huh. Intersect and divide.
Objection! The rule breaker has a number. We can all tell that she is very likely an integer. Therefore, she should be identified as an unknown number, not void. Your sophism has failed.
42's argument is held valid. Is there anything else you'd like to add, defendant?
Tell you a secret, Vertin? We would call criminals negative numbers. I got it! A perfect argument. Intersect and divide. Are you irrational numbers? Rational. The final demonstration. Given that. Welcome to the world of numbers. Intersect and divide.
it is easy to prove Sonetto's innocence. According to the law of the excluded middle, Sonetto either committed a sin or committed no sin. The two statements cannot be both false at the same time. Since we consider a criminal as a negative number and a non-criminal as a positive number, Sonetto at present is considered an unknown number. That means she doesn't belong to the criminal set or the non-criminal set. She did not commit a sin and did not commit no sin. It's a paradox. I hereby demand to modify the criminal sentence that has been given to Sonetto.
I will pray for you. Sorry.
The law of excluded middle. A good sophism. Good for you to create a paradox from one sentence of my argument. But pitifully, you've made a fatal mistake. You've taken my argument as the basis of your defense. I said people without a number should be expelled from the Hall of Truth. You don't have a number either, Miss Outsider. Based on my argument, which has also been approved by you, I argue that all your arguments are invalid.
There's no time left.
13 has a number. I saw it.
What? 37, do you know what you're saying?
Yeah. I read her number just now. 13's number is 0. Who ate beans?
Come closer. That's right. Take a few more steps and immerse yourself in the shadow, including that hat. You don't want those good ears to hear this private conversation. That pad of paper from the miss, yes, the one wielding the ruler, is quite valuable. I can tell it is of a certain age and records quite a lot of anecdotes. One visitor to the island took out a baguette from his luggage. To share it with others, he made an attempt to parcel it off. Another visitor fell to the ground and happened to sit on a quart measure and break it. You can learn the punishments for them from the paper. The former was thrown into the sea, while the latter into the further sea. Only God knows how this wine-dark sea holds so many visitors. Oh, the debate! That's really a pain in the neck for that logical, pragmatic assistant of yours, isn't it? People always tend to mark what they can't figure out as arcanists' doings, as if things would make sense once they do so. But it won't change the fact that the debate is only a game involving sophistry, improvisation, and straw man fallacy. So what makes it superior to beans, if the form is what they are really after? Anyways, whoever fools the others first will win the game. No arcanum at all. And that argument of hers is the best attraction for the audience. A special number. A 0. That's ambitious, darling, and I love it. But you need to know that infinity is the most unfamiliar thing for the people, and that's why it triggers the most curiosity. Whoever tries to eat up this elephant with one bite will get all bloated and pinned by their own weight. waiting to die like a turtle upside down. By then, I guess you would be eager to throw up the elephant and turn back into the adorable, easygoing Zero we all like. See, just like you, people are always on the way to finding something that can satisfy them undoubtedly. As if what they already have was disappointing. They stare at the flame of the matches, read the tea leaves in the cup, and bustle around the instruments with star patterns. Now, back to the number we just talked about. Oh my! It's the prediction of your whole life! Can you believe that? You owe that spirited little genius a thank you. By the way, what do you see in her number? Ah, yes, of course. 37 is larger than 0. But it's not so stable as 0. These prime numbers, they are just hard to divide because they have very few things in common with others. That's why she's always so energetic, highly and solely focused on what she takes an interest in. She has nothing like the characteristics of the ones you know in the Gray and White House. Those people are proud of themselves for having kind-hearted factors around them. As their teaching goes, it's always dangerous to be unique. But some look up at her again and again, exactly because they can sense the danger in her. You are also a good example. You've been looking up, haven't you?
"37. You just said Vertin's number is 0. Do you know what it means?"
Very clearly.
Would you be able to submit proof to a Peyron?
No problem.
Half of you in this hall have put in the pebbles. If 37's argument is found to be true, every argument Vertin has spoken in Sonetto's defense will be deemed valid. Sonetto will be exempt from the punishment. I will announce the result once 37's proof has been validated by a Peyron.
Sonetto!
Timekeeper, I'm so sorry. I tried my best, but still I couldn't understand the debate. I failed again.
What happened to her? Come here, little girl. We need to move her outside. Lie her down on the ground and wipe her palm and feet with dew and peppermint oil. That would be okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, the distinguished number 0. I'm kidding. I'm 210. Well, instead of the number, I prefer people call me the rhetorician.
I've heard your preachment. Pretty demagogic.
That's how logic works. With logic, I can prove that you'd cease to exist in the next moment, or that there are no other people in this world except me. Achilles can never outrun a tortoise, and a flying arrow is forever motionless. This debate is nothing but meaningless wordplay. That pacifist let you off this time. 6. A perfect number indeed. For he knows the benefit of reconciliation. Who wants to have blood on their hands and be devoured by the cycle of hatred? Yet it's a torture for any intelligent mind to hear such an immature debate. Can you feel the suffering of our leader now?
I'm sorry.
No apology needed, Miss Outsider. I also feel sorry for your pain. Given that 37 has revealed your number.
What do you mean?
37. Our evil little genius. The most cunning star of Hermes. She's been having fun revealing others' numbers for a long time. Our numbers are our essence. And it's also the most important proof we get once in our lifetime. But she enjoys taking that opportunity away from you. Just because her talent allows her to do so. She did that to her friend, too. She found out Sophia's number. But without casting an eye on that paper with her number on it, Sophia threw it into the sea. Sophia is Sophos. But you... I pity you.
It doesn't seem like trouble to me.
Alas, poor little Vertin. You still don't understand. The number of our souls suggests our fate. It might be changed through algorithms temporarily, swirling, shifting, or transforming alongside other changes occurring on the coordinate axis. But in the end, we can only be ourselves. 1 is thought. 2 is opinion. 3 is wisdom. 4 is strength. 5, enthusiasm. 6, harmony. 7, order. 8, philanthropy. 9 is restraint, while 10 is completion. 0, however, is in the middle of the axis, the origin of the frame of reference. It's neither positive nor negative, neither prime nor composite. Things are ever changing, but you stay the same. Your loneliness also lasts forever. This is your fate. Being exposed in full view of the crowd, yet you know nothing about it. 37 was acting on impulse, yet she opened Pandora's box. She leisurely reveals your fate. That carefree behavior makes no difference to picking up a shell on a beach. How could I not pity you?
Miss Vertin. "37's proof has passed the review. Your friend will now be exempt from the punishment for violating the rules. However, she has to take some catch-up lessons on the scripture. Please, meet me at the hall tomorrow at noon. I would have words with you." Before this negotiation begins, I wish to tell an allegory to the two of you. A group of people were imprisoned in a cave. Behind them, there was a fire. Before them was a tall, solid wall. Their legs and necks were chained and fixed, so they were constrained to look nowhere but to gaze at the wall in front of them. When they dropped their eyes, they saw their own body. When they looked up, the flickering light of the fire fell over them, and they only saw the shadows of what was passing behind them. No one had lived one day outside the cave. The shadows cast on the wall all there was to be perceived as reality. They had no knowledge of the real world. One day, one of them escaped from the cave, walked into the light, and saw the true world with his own eyes for the first time. Everything he saw or felt in the cave was nothing more than a mere shadow of the object's true form. Our world is a poor one, Miss Verton. The phenomenal world is the cave in this allegory, where we are surrounded by shadows or some humble fractions of the truth. It is ugly, frivolous, filthy, perishable, subject to decay, and filled with hollow desires and meaningless struggles. Only the wise can walk out of that cave and see the world as it truly is. In that eternal, transcendent world, everything is in its most perfect form. I pray that you, Miss Verton, the representative of St. Pavlov Foundation, and you, Miss Arcana, her counterpart of Manus Vindicte, would pay heed to my words. Everything you've been fighting each other for means no more than some fragments of phenomena to us. There's only one thing worth doing. That is, to seek higher wisdom, develop one's virtue, and achieve greatness in life. We have never set foot on the soil dampened by the storm, nor have we ever been involved in the disputes brought by the torrents of time. I beg you, do not take your conflict in the phenomenal world into the realm of truth.
For certain. It was never my intention to sully the sanctuary of truth.
Then, to prevent a situation like this from happening again, I would like to ask you two to carve your names on these 2 stone bangles and drip a drop of your blood on each of them. Once the bracelet is put on, no one will be able to remove it. From now on, as long as you're on this island, none of your people will draw blood from one another. Or the bangle shall draw all the blood from you. The peace agreement is so decided.
I appreciate that. I'll sign it. The peace agreement.
Lady Verton, we meet again. I wish the best to thy friend.
She's doing well, thanks to you.
You're most welcome. Thou shalt quench, for times hath changed. I would not wish to shed even a drop of Arcanist's blood in vain.
But Schneider should be the victim of a merciless bullet?
Pardon, my pitiful child. Did you forget? That merciless bullet cameth from a gun never belonging to me.
What's Manus Vindicte's purpose to be here?
Hearken the archaic wisdom. Just as thou doest. I am not surprised. I adore thy visage, Lady Verton, emotionless in the storm. Alas, no man shall bravest the storm and live, including thee.
A wooden box in the Elitiaus base has my name on it. Was that your doing?
Sadly, it wasn't. I hope thee findeth the answer satisfactory.
It's burning.
Is that Miss Arcana? Miss Arcana! Please, don't go! Save us!
And save Art!
No! Come back! Come back! You ignorant foreigners! I just started introducing vectors and matrices, and that's the most interesting part! Verton! Great! You always show up at the right time and right place! Stop the masked people! Whatever it takes!
Look at you, climbing out of the cave in the allegory, all dusty and dirty like a little savage. They must have tried to fill your little brain with long preachment. But you should feel lucky, because at least they didn't give you a quiz right after that. Oh, how modest you are. Looks like you didn't spend all your student days catching tree frogs. Try to reach the corners of your mind, if you would. And there you will find another bunch of people standing in front of a stone table. Yes, those people in gowns. White gowns with gray diamond patterns. One of them was standing on the stairs, gathering all the little vacant eyes to his side. What was he called? Give me a second. Teacher, instructor, tutor, the educator. Just titles like that, no names at all. No one gets to write down their names on that banner, after all. But they have nothing to complain about. You know what they say? What is reasonable is real. That which is real is reasonable. They showed you a broad avenue in their teachings where you could enjoy a sense of security with all the solid ground, convenient automobiles, and warm sunshine. And at the end of the avenue even lies an inspiring mission, to which you are expected to devote your whole life. There is a distinction between good and bad here, and it's as clear as our innate sense of right and wrong, like a floor of black and white tiles. Any stains on it will be noticed immediately. But in fact, there exists another path in the woods. It's much less traveled, leading to the unknown darkness which cannot be seen with eyes or proved false. You may even experience indescribable chaos and madness there. This path, however, has an excellent view, and it's one of a kind. The plants are thriving with bursting energy, and the flowers are blooming in a delightful atmosphere. So, which will you take? Oh, that's not an easy choice to make. This grandma must give you a round of applause. I would have even pinned a boutonniere to your suit if I had one. But I have to remind you, those things in there are not easy to deal with. They can drive you insane, and you have to be very careful. You've seen the living proof. Many were freaked out after they came back, and people had to tie and lock them up. Others even dug their own graves. Oh, my. That was a bit over the top. I hope I didn't scare you, darling. Here's some good news to cheer you up. Actually, there's still one more way you can take. It would be a good choice if you want to enjoy the scenery without getting lost in the darkness. I'm sure you know that myth. You shall take the soul of your love out of the underworld, yet you shall not look back. That's right. You shall pass by the sleeping sirens, yet you shall not make a sound. The ones with the belief set off. They entered the dark woods barefooted, yet moved so smoothly, as if they were walking on the avenue. They kept their mouths shut and eyes forward. They never turned back, never picked up what was not theirs, never set foot on the forbidden lands, and never looked straight at the sacred greatness. They showed frugality, patience, and wisdom in the face of hunger and danger. So the beasts continued to lurk in the shadow, and the ones with the belief passed through the woods safely, until the path disappeared along with the direction sign. Then the first one to look back gave an exclamation before being exiled. Think about what I just said. That which is real is reasonable. Never look back in the woods, darling. If you don't want to be turned into a pillar of salt which can do nothing but wail, then never, ever look back. Yes, we'd better stay awake, stay calm, stay cautious all the time. But then there comes the problem. How can you ignore your love for those thriving plants and blooming flowers? How are you supposed to deal with the unstoppable feeling that overflows like a melody when it is stirred up by the beauty of the scenery? Of course, you will cry the loudest cry, dance the wildest dance, drink the strongest drink, and vomit all the filth inside you. After all, there is no need to enter the woods if the soul-stirring scenery is not what you are after, right? No, so you'd better let it slip your mind, darling. Just let it go and hurry forward. Remember to keep your eyes shut and hold your breath. When you do so, the scenery will no longer mean anything to you, nor will the fragrance of the flowers. You will get out of the woods and reach where the truth lies. Is that what you want? Don't worry. We have plenty of time. You may come back at any time and pick another way. I know you must be surprised, darling, but we're old friends. We've talked many times. Oh, let your guard down. A grandma like me won't be in your way. We can talk about me later, when we need to. For now, let's seize the day and take a look at the new stuff that just came in. As you can see, the fog has filled up this place, giving it a little bit of a mystery. If you see it as a magic show, I'm sure the answer to the mystery is close enough to us, only separated by a piece of red velvet cloth in the magician's hand. Now, darling, open the door and go through it. That's what it's for, as well as what makes it better than a wall. Don't you think? Whether it's locked or not, the door itself is already a sign of seduction. It's waiting for someone to pry into its little secrets. Even eagerly, I suppose.
Congratulations, Miss Sonetto. You are the fastest learner of our doctrine among all the visitors in the past half-century. On behalf of all orators, I award you this laurel wreath.
No, I wouldn't have achieved this without your guidance. Those mathematics statements are really inspiring. I've learned a lot. But there's still something confusing me, such as Pythagoras and his golden thigh, his memory of the previous lifetimes as the son of Hermes, and the transmigration for every 216 years. Could you please tell me more about these?
Why would people fail to see the charm of the matrices? This is not right. I need to spend more time on teaching.
Anyone! Save us!
Thus my journey of art is doomed to fail. I really don't want to study maths anymore. Help.
Timekeeper, you are here.
I heard that you completed all the lessons on the scripture. This laurel wreath suits you well.
Timekeeper, I'm sorry. At the assembly, I failed to understand the arcanist's logic. It was totally different to the debates I have participated in. But now I have...
That was not your fault, Sonetto. It is now behind us. I need to tell you something more important. I've signed a peace agreement with Arcana, and the price of breaking it is... death.
What? So Manus Vindictae is also restrained by the stone bangle like we are.
Yes, she put it on without hesitation. But I don't think her purpose would be as simple as hearkening the ancient wisdom. I attacked Manus' followers earlier as 37 asked me to. But I received no punishment from the bangle. Perhaps this island makes its own judgment on what to be classified as hostility, like it has a mind of its own. Sonetto, do not report this to the headquarters before we figure out how the bangle works. After all, there are many other things to investigate on this island other than Manus Vindicte.
I see. I will contact Miss Juvis and Miss Moiselle first and keep an eye on Arcana. Timekeeper, this island, the Manus' mask, and your suitcase are all immune to the storm. Does this mean we could collect more asymmetrical nuclide R samples?
I tried to collect some samples last night in the outer region of the island, but the detecting device showed nothing. If we were to find out more, we have to go to the center area.
What are you conspiring now? Do not poke the fire with swords, and do not jump over a crossbar. The assembly will not be held every time when there's a crime. Please take heed of my warning, and do not overstep the line. Learn a lesson from them.
Lilia, didn't you say you have Regulus with you safely?
Apologies, Vertin. I was going to rescue Sonetto through a very creative underground tunnel. But things didn't quite go as planned.
Not a bad innovation for a simple clap on the forehead. If only you didn't miscalculate the location of the explosion.
This apple is grateful that it didn't get blasted into a puddle of apple jam.
Warning. Shell cleaning required. Warning.
I don't know why, but when I was in that cave, ideas kept flooding into my head. Though, judging by the outcome, they weren't all good ideas.
On a routine patrol, I found them trying to break into the cave. I'm not surprised that an irrational number would try to trespass on forbidden grounds. But you two? The integer and the fraction? What were you doing with her? This is a serious crime.
Do we have to go through this debate again?
It's okay, Timekeeper. I will defend Regulus. I've thoroughly studied the scripture, and this time I'm sure I can do better.
Forget it.
Forget it.
It is unwise to waste time trying to understand an irrational number's motive. Besides, we should let the reckless take care of the least important matters. That's it. Regulus, you will come with me to clean the beach.
Huh? Me? Again?
Since you have too many floating points, words of discipline would not work on you. We would have suggested you study with the rest of the students here. Abstain from eating meat, bathe in cold water, rise with the Apollo star, study our doctrine, read the scripture aloud on the beach, so as to remove your floating points and purify your soul.
What? I won't do any of that.
But taking your peculiar character into consideration, I decided that some compulsory labor would be the better option.
Oh, that's the best news of the day. I'd rather clean up the rubbish on the beach than be surrounded by people giving sermons all the time. At least the rubbish doesn't talk gibberish. I'd be dead if you didn't change your mind.
Regulus, studying the scripture is not that scary. They will teach you and guide you until you take full command. Just like taking lessons at school.
Huh? Is that what schools are like?
Haven't you been to a school, Regulus?
Haha! A great pirate would not remember trivial matters as such. So, where were we? Which part of the beach needs to be taken care of by the great captain?
My laboratory.
Whoa! Where did you pop up from?
"37. Aren't you supposed to preach to the visitors?"
I've seen the numbers. A group of negative repeating infinite decimals. They will achieve nothing but to repeatedly step in the river of mistakes. I gave up on them.
Fine. Those of you who are complicit in breaking into the cave will also be sent to labor. Sonetto and Lilia will come with me to patrol. Regulus, you can go clean the lab. As for Verton, you will assist 37 with her study of the emanation. Don't waste more time on the trivial matters of the phenomenal world, integers. That was the sole reason you were on this island, was it not?
Don't let down your guard. The arcanists on this island are not as easy to deal with as you imagined. Down in the cave, I heard some pretty alluring and intriguing anecdotes.
Miss Lilia, this way. You will cover this area.
Stay on the radio.
Don't worry, Timekeeper. Lilia and I will keep an eye on Manus Vindictae.
We are counting on you, Sonetto. I have a feeling we are coming closer to a big secret.
What? What am I looking at? So your so-called sacred project is this gigantic IDM computer? I was curious about them during my stay in Laplace. Those later versions of the model are so much better than the 66 ones. But this one doesn't seem that far advanced to those. This is not a junk piece the man has sold you, is it?
Items of the phenomenal world are all a waste. This one is long broken. After the emanation, we couldn't find anyone to repair it.
Why do you keep referring to the storm as the emanation? What does the emanation mean?
It is the waves of Numa. We are the expellees of the world of forms. We were banished to this damp and dark cave. Everyone here is obsessed with the fake light on the wall, but forgets to look for the truth. Numa however, will lead us to escape the cave and return to a more supreme realm.
Eh? You make it sound like we're living in piles of rubbish.
Aren't we?
Of course not. If you ask me, I'd say you have absolutely no idea how wonderful the outside world is, because you have never left here to try it yourself. Dr. Pepper, the music festivals, Rory Storm, the Hollies, and the Rolling Stones. Oh, there are too many to count. If it weren't for this sick storm, I would still be riding a motorcycle in one of those races in London.
Your soul must be pretty contaminated.
And the computer, they can calculate extremely large numbers within seconds, better than hundreds of thousands of you combined together.
In the case of numbers, it's not the bigger the better. Also, this computer has never played a useful part in our study.
Come on, mate. You people just leave it in a cave. It's like sending an infant to the kitchen and waiting for it to bring you dinner. Never mind, you'll see what I mean after I fix it.
Can you fix an IDM, Regulus?
No, but I've seen the La Paz people do it. Shouldn't be too difficult, I assume. Oh, the dust! When was the last time you sent people down here to clean? Oh, some critters are nesting here. Oh, did I break into your party? Bertin, come give me a hand. They won't let me touch them.
You fixed it. It's great to have you clean the laboratory, Regulus. Your floating point immediately reduced.
Oh, is that a compliment? Sounds like one to me. Thank you.
It's a wordplay, Captain. Infinity minus any numbers still equals to infinity.
Oh, fine. I should have given up the idea of changing your eccentric sorting system a long time ago. What's the meaning of humans inventing computers if these machines were only left here for some critters to nest in?
Thanks to you, now we can have a look at the previous models, Regulus. But it's a pity since it only has the data before 2003. Everything in the past 4 years has gone missing. This is our chronology, Vertin. From 1999 to 2007, the emanation has taken place 7 times. In the initial 4 years, the emanation has a pattern. First, it brought us back to the 90s, then the 80s, and then the 70s. After that, it suddenly leaped to the 30s. In the subsequent 3 years, it took place twice.
Every record here can perfectly match what is in the Foundation's files. Wait, these are the records before 2003, you say? But this one refers to the storm in 1966, which happened recently.
These are indeed the records before 2003. What's following the records is our forecast.
That's to say, you prophesied the 1966 storm 4 years prior to its occurrence. How is this possible? That you are clever enough to develop such a precise mathematical model, while at the same time you just let the IDM become the home of these critters.
We just worked out the patterns in the number sequences.
You made such precise prediction even without leaving the island. That's incredible.
You don't need to go into a river to find out the pattern of its flow. Moreover, we would send people to observe in the phenomenal world. My mother was one of them. She is the co-author of this model. Nobody knows this computer better than her.
So you have a mother too?
2?
37. Where is your mother now?
Like many people, she was restored to her true form. Since then, I took over this laboratory.
The form, you said? 37? What is it?
What kind of question is this? The form, or the essence, is what's left of you after all the fakeness has been peeled off.
Now we are listening to the New Year collection. The world-famous painting Mona Lisa was found and returned to Musée du Louvre in the afternoon of December 13th. The U.S. Congress passed the Federal Reserve Act on December 23rd, formally establishing the Federal Reserve System. The conflict between Austria-Hungary and Serbia has escalated. Bulgaria challenged the Bucharest Peace Treaty. Tension is building up over the Balkan Peninsula. In London, futurists gathered under Big Ben, celebrating the upcoming 1914.
This is news of the outside world?
What about on your side?
Well, I am with Sophia. Arcana's still in the hall. She hasn't taken any action so far. Got it. Please keep an eye on the Manus followers. Be mindful of the restrictions set by the Bangle.
Who are you talking to?
Just checking up on Lilia.
Please stay vigilant during the patrol. This is the last place we need to check. We must keep this graveyard clean. Our dead deserve to be left in peace and undisturbed by the phenomenal world.
Miss Sophia, you said this is the graveyard?
Yes, the Geometry Graveyard it is called. 4 years ago, my father was restored to a geometric body on his way back to the island. So was 37's mother, who was also on that ship.
Why are you crying, Sophia?
I was wrong.
We calculated it wrong, 37. We miscalculated the impacted area of the emanation. We thought the ships would be safe in the Gorgon current, but the safe area is in fact 5 degrees away. When the emanation happened, the bow of their ship had just entered the safe area. But it was too late. My dad is gone. So is your mom.
I know, but why are you crying? My mom and your dad have come back to us, right?
Have come back? Do you call this coming back? Like this? In the form of geometric bodies, cold and silent, being pushed to the shore?
No, they have gone somewhere further. Look at them. These geometric bodies. How pure and how elegant. I've never seen such perfect geometric bodies before. If they are not from the eternal and transcendental world of forms, how should we explain this?
37?
I'm going to study the emanation, Sophia. This is the best chance ever. The transcendental world finally opens its door to us. We will reach our hands to the forms and explore the oldest and eternal laws. Will you help me, Sophia? Next time I will definitely make a better calculation. I promise.
Thank you for assisting 37 with her research, Sinetto.
No, I didn't do anything. Timekeeper knows the storm better.
You have helped us greatly by just coming onto this island. For all this time, 37 has been locked up in the laboratory, refusing to talk to anyone, nor participate in any group study. Since the 2-day emanation in 1929. It is you who helped her revive her interest in other affairs in Apiron.
These are Timekeeper's contributions. I barely did anything.
I can't help 37. Because I don't see the charm of numbers. I lack the perception that an integer should have. That's why I can't see my own number.
The number's charm? Sorry, I have never thought about this. For me, Arcanum is my inborn mission. If you ask me, you are an unbelievably excellent Arcanist. You can flatten the ground, clean up the beach, and rectify errors. You did it in an efficient and precise manner, which is already an advanced ritual.
Any students who have sworn to knowledge can do this easily. They aren't doing my job because they wish not to waste time on these trivial fragments of the phenomenal world. Because they have seen the truth.
The phenomenal world is never complete. Like you can never draw a perfect circle there. No matter how much time you spend on it or how sophisticated your device is, it is impossible to draw a perfect circle in the phenomenal world. Arrows always exist. The floating points after the decimal can be reduced, but not destroyed. The perfect circle only exists in the abstract transcendental world. Of course, anyone in the world can find out the value of pi through the most primitive method. Egyptians, Greeks, Chinese, and Babylonians, they have all tried. They made circles with twine, painted on the ground with twigs, or measured the land with cubit rods, but none of them actually drew a perfect circle. However different their practices were, they found out the sole truth, the approximate value of pi. Because the essence of the circle is hiding in the imperfect manifestation of it. This is the truth. It is eternal, unchanged, pure, and transcendent. Anyone can reach out to it at any time, in any place, by any means, and everyone will get the same answer from it. The forms transcend all matters. The world of matters we live in is being flooded and destroyed by the tides of Numa. When the tides recede, what is left on the beach is the essence.
This doesn't sound right. Let me think. How come your theory reminds me of the Manus doctrine?
37. We see the storm very differently. Among all the other things, we saw it first of all as a disaster.
But earthquakes, floods, volcanic eruptions, these are also disasters. These catastrophic events happen not because they have a reason to destroy. They just happen in this world, like we do. This is what my mother taught me. She must be proud that she's a perfect geometric body now.
I'm sorry for mentioning your mother.
Why do you apologize, Verton? Are you feeling guilty? This is a very unusual feeling for a number like you.
I don't get it. Why did you say my number is 0?
I just saw it. The numbers of everything and every being would just emerge in front of me. I see it, and I speak it out loud. That's it.
210 told me numbers imply our fate.
Don't believe him, Verton. Numbers are just numbers. I know nothing about fate. Fine. I don't think I like 210. And the feeling goes both ways for us. Because I once said he is a poor number. 210 equals 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. He is the product of all prime numbers between 1 and 10. Looks like he has it all, but he doesn't have any real forte. He likes to sugarcoat himself with metaphors. Only those with a flawed essence would adore the trickery of words.
This is indeed an extreme comment.
And 6 is no better. Every leader of a Pyrrhon has been a 6. 6 is the perfect number since it equals the sum of all its proper divisors. 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6. But this number has been overrated. He's not that special.
What about your number? What does 37 mean?
I don't know. I am 37. I've known it since I was born. So does everyone else. People told me what it means, but I have never tried to prove their theory. I know very little of fate, so I always think, even if I find out their essences, does it mean I have known them better?
"37 once tried to tell me my number. She wrote it down and put it into a bottle, but I couldn't get up the courage to open it. I didn't want to know. I once made a horrible mistake. An unforgivable miscalculation. It makes me worried that I may also be a mistake. So I threw the bottle into the sea. This is how 37 is different from us. We are all prisoners of that cave. Only the wise one can find her way out of the cave and return to rescue the rest of us. I'm the ignorant prisoner who sits, and she's the wise one who returns. I will be crushed into dust by the truth, while she will be the star shining above it. The truth is like the stars in the night sky. Beautiful, but cold. It has been there long before my existence, and will stay that way long after I'm gone. It sheds no tears for the weak, nor laments the tragic fate. It's forever bright, and always moving forward. The person who avoids the truth is not qualified to study it. I'm sorry. My interpretation has been emotional.
No. I think I kind of know how you feel, Miss Sophia. However unworthy you think you are, there must be something we can do. Maybe we can't reach the core of the truth, but we can clean up the path to it for the future explorers. This is our fate.
Interesting insight. I have come to understand why 37 likes you so much. Let us go back to work then. Start from dusting the tombstones.
Alright, I've had enough of these Sol Numa-related idle topics. I want to have a look at your model. Wow, seriously? How did you get this far?
This model has been proven wrong. For 4 whole years we had been optimizing it. But the emanation in 1929 only lasted for 2 days, which means our calculation was entirely a failure. That model is just like this computer. It's a piece of junk. And this is all I can present to you.
No, it's not junk. I think I know why your model didn't work.
What?
Manus Vindictae has changed history. They accelerated history, forcing historical events to happen earlier than they were supposed to. Thus, the storm in 1929 occurred sooner than it should.
No way! controlling the emanation, changing the history of the outside world. Numa is eternal and transcendental. It won't obey any orders given from the phenomenal world. Neither will it change its patterns because of some fragments.
I'm telling the truth, 37. I've been there, in the storm of 1929. Your model was not wrong. You just missed some key information. You've never been to the place where the storm falls, and thus know nothing about the symptoms of the storm syndrome and the true purposes of Manus Vindictae.
No! That's impossible! Even if there are means to control the emanation, it wouldn't be like this. If this is true, does it mean the phenomenal world, this insignificant phenomenal world, is more transcendental? Mother's model was defeated by this? Vertin, could you give us proof? The proof that Manus Vindictae accelerated history and triggered the emanation.
I swear I wasn't lying.
No, not like this. To prove it in front of Epiron. Go to our sacred place, to the Hall of Truth, in the depths of the cave. There, everyone can see the essence of the world. I beg you, give them your proof, just like how we submit the proof of our soul number.
Come here. Place your hand on it. Feel the texture. The craft is one of a kind. Not some cheapie you can get from the flea market. I mean it. This is a Keelian, and even the most traditional, delicate, and expensive kind. It has applied fiery red as the dominant color, and the stitches are perfectly neat. From the sea, just like you, darling. It arrived with a meerschaum pipe, a glass jar, a pack of sugar cubes, and a child in panic. Both she and the Keeling were born on the land where the craft originated. Their appearances apply the same dominant color, and the patterns in them share similar complexity. Oh, your curiosity is aroused. But we are not done with the carpets yet. You've always got to get a souvenir or two every time you reach a new place. So you will have something to show when you tell the stories one day, right? Look at these handmade fabrics. How splendid! Those incredible patterns were the only thing on the craftswomen's minds when they made the carpets. It's safe to say they have spent their whole life improving their skills at using the vertical loom. And that's how we get these carpet knots arranged in beautiful lines. But they are just people like us. What if they get distracted? What if the carpet knots go off the right track and get tied to the wrong threads? Then you will be in trouble. Big trouble. All the problems in the universe will come at you, and the situation will be even worse than the bureaucratic system of a millennial empire. I like the pragmatic quality in you. I'm sure it will make your life even more wonderful. The people will be impressed and line up to tackle the problems for you. Oh, don't be mad. Some make troubles and others deal with the troubles. That happens. You know, every question has a questioner when they are raised. Likewise, every error has a corrector when they are corrected. That's how we get to know them. The correctors, an ancient profession. Their duty is to remove the loose threads and iron out the wrinkles on the carpets. In the language of this island, That is to check the calculations on the papyri and even the holes on the punched tapes. No one is capable of doing this job except the altruists, because it is similar to unraveling a ball of wool. Besides finding the end of the threads, you must always pay attention to the cats. And she, the red-haired little girl with the carpet in her arms, was overwhelmed at the beginning. Not yet familiar with the ruler, she tried her best to find the end of the threads. So the cats took the opportunity to jump on her together and left countless scratches on that little forehead. Poor girl. See, that's the problem every corrector has to deal with. Their job is to correct errors. But what if their own existence is also part of the errors? Oh, it's no big deal. There is more than one loom in this world. She left the complicated patterns behind and came to this simple kingdom featuring numbers only. There she made the first contact with a spinning loom named Geometry. She had never seen anything like that before, and it was almost impossible for her to comprehend how it worked. She could hardly convert the numbers on the books into an actual diagram in her brain. Without a whole picture of what she was working on, she resorted to her hard work and more hard work. Then a long time passed, leaving one wound after another on her fingers. Later, the wounds even became calluses. In the end, her hands were no longer tender, but tough enough to resist the damage from the loom. Yes, she has won a place on this island for herself. Yes, she's a quick learner. She learned even faster than some of the locals. But that was not enough, because she has been outmatched by her playmate, the leading one in the field of mathematics on the island. That girl is like a perfect piece of satin born by nature. It is decorated by the beauty of mathematics and geometry. No manual work involved. In order to reach the showcase where that perfect piece lies, and to stay on the right track and fit into the school, she has done everything she could. But, she is still the most distinctive carpet there. Anyone can tell that as long as they spend some time on the island. Oh, of course not. She's only a bit different from others. So she will continue to weave on the loom until one day the spindle pierces her callus and the fire burns everything to the ground. Shh. I should stop here. You know that mathematician who was thrown into the sea? He died because he said something he shouldn't have. Cut not wood on a public road. Open not an unwanted bottle. I don't know what to say next. I guess the best line for this circumstance is, see you later.
Wait a second, just a second. Isn't this still the dungeon? Are you setting us up?
All caves are interconnected. This is the way to our sacred place.
37, wait. I remember Sophia once told us that trespassing on the sacred place is a serious crime.
No worries. The restrictions were to help us not be distracted by the unimportant details in life. It would not stop us from seeking the truth.
Excellent. I will tell it to the Abraxas when it shows up. Huh? Hey, 37. Are you sure this is the right way? My heart just sank as if I took a bite of those overnight potato chips.
Are you scared?
Oh, you wish. But when I was exploring underground with Lilia earlier, we ran into some fog like this one. Oh, it doesn't bring you any wanted guests, mind you.
Maybe you were their target because you are an irrational number.
Oh, is that so? You integers will be fine then. Good luck. Don't beg this pirate for help later.
Hold there. Something is coming out.
Huh? Rooster ahead with 2 snakes as its feet. Abraxas. That's weird. Why are they here?
They're coming for us.
Ha! What did I say? Don't beg.
Regulus, prepare for battle.
Okay, I know. I was just teasing her.
The stone bangle is activated. But they're just Abraxas. Regulus, wait for their attack. Do not kill them.
What kind of request is this?
Listen to me, Regulus. That's of prime importance.
Fine. If it is of prime importance, this pirate will try her best. That's it. I still have 10 more songs to play.
These are not the same kind of Abraxas as we've encountered before. Do they have different varieties?
Wait, where is Miss 37?
Hey! Come on, keep up! Did she just take off like that while we fought? Sneaky little. We should leave 2 vert in.
Wait a second, Regulus. Do you sense anything familiar in the fog?
Uh-huh, you bet. This is the first guest room we were put in when we first entered the island.
No, Captain. This apple has the same strange feeling. We saw the rise of Ceres in the same kind of fog. And before that...
That's the same fog as in the Elitiao space.
That is to say... This fog is the cause of our illusion to see the Ceres and the Abraxas' attack.
Don't rush to conclusions. Follow 37 first. Oh, and what's that series you were talking about?
I just picked up a piece of paper. Like this, just bent over and reached to the ground.
What book is it?
Oh, probably just some math problems left from the critter's breakfast. You never know. Wait, the compound of alchemy. The 12 gates lead into the discovery of the Philosopher's Stone. This is that alchemy handbook given to Edward IV by George Ripley. Why is it here?
Look at this, Captain. Of the Great Stone of the Ancients by Basil Valentine. The 112 books by Geber. Emerald's Tablet in Latin. Seems like there are more ancient texts about alchemy hidden inside the whole, but they are all incomplete.
Oh, so maybe I need to crack some more crossword puzzles to find out about this.
Our caves endow people with wisdom. Our secret knowledge is hidden in the silent boulder walls. The knowledge in those books is just a drop in the ocean. Follow me, Regulus.
Vertin, you lot go ahead. Go with 37. I will meet you outside.
You want to read these books here?
The knowledge passed down through language can easily be distorted. Compared to the wisdom of a Perron, it's nothing.
No, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going back. Oh, all right. I might as well just admit that your cave indeed has the power to give people insights. If I follow its lead, perhaps I'll finally work out the answer about that little thing I've been carrying with me. Never thought that I'd find the answer here. Easy as picking up a shell on a beach.
What? You don't want to get closer to the truth?
Oh, of course I do. And that's precisely why I don't want to get to it so easily. I don't want it to be fed into my brain. Come on, it's the ultimate truth that we're talking about. If someone just tells me the ending of Lord of the Flies before I enjoy the book, I will throw them into the sea as you people do.
Oh. I only met 2 people who reject the truth. So this is the mindset of irrational numbers. I see. Thank you for being my subject of observation, Regulus. Go, Vertin. We have a long way ahead.
Be careful, Regulus.
Don't worry, I know this place well enough by now. After all, I've never been so welcomed in any other place ever. Critters, monsters, creatures with strange heads. Do you worse. This pirate is not afraid of you.
A Piron, the boundless, the beginning of all things. Everything originates from it and returns to it. Infinity has no start and no end. But nothing would come into existence if there's only infinity. Look up there, Vertin. Now they are presenting in their true forms. In their purest and newest forms. Our world was born from the wounds on infinity. When it's cut by finity, the patterns of the cutting are what we call mathematics. Thus, the essences of numbers exist inside all beings, and the patterns of all numbers exist in all matters. The length of a butterfly's wings and its body are in golden ratio, and the plant leaves grow on their stems in the pattern of the Fibonacci spiral. This is the most primitive rhythm of Arcanum, and it is also the beginning of our extraordinary study. This is the essence.
And how do I submit my proof?
Close your eyes, Vertin. Only when your eyes are closed will your mind open up. Now, stay fully concentrated and recall the question you want to verify. Only in the absolute contemplation can truth reveal itself to you.
The storm, the emanation, the storm syndrome. Where are they from? Foundation, Manus Vindictae, Aperon. What roles do they play? Why does the storm fall when history trembles? Why doesn't the storm fall into the misty land? What is the ingredient of asymmetrical nuclide R?
The world is a dark underground labyrinth. But Numa can guide us to go beyond all things and reach the exit. Vertin, can you see it?
It's burning! What's going on? Is somebody fighting with a Manus now? What's happening outside the cave?
Vertin, why are you straying? If the meditation goes beyond control, you will be thrown out of here. This would be a foolish mistake. For a Paron, this is...
Alas, no man shall bravest the storm and live. Including thee.
"37! 37! What happened? Were all those illusions? If it weren't for the heat of the stone bangle that wakes me up, Would I go as crazy as they did? This stone reminds me of the spinning wheel. The collector of asymmetric nuclei are. If the reagent turns gold after reacting with the fog here, that means the fog contains elements that can be immune to the storm. The color changed faster than I thought. The concentration of R is hundreds of times, no, thousands of times higher than in the Manus' masks. In other words, whoever owns this cave can produce the protective equipment of the storm in big numbers. Is that the reason why Arcana is here?
Oh, Mother, our model. Has it failed? Has it failed?
I need to take 37 out of here. So the Abraxas were people from the Manus. The fog here can affect people's minds, like those around the lake in my suitcase. Have the Manus found a way to launch attacks without being punished by the Bangle? Or don't they care about the price they will be paying anymore? I hope Regulus didn't throw my words to the wind. I have to get rid of them first, and go out to join the others. The peace agreement no longer works. Or is it safe as long as the contracting parties have no intention to fight? The conditions are not clear. A reckless attack may lead to the punishment of the Bangle. I have to be careful with the method and timing of attacking.
My sword sharp. I believe in you.
An eye for an eye.
I know the moon, and this is an alien city.
No need to look back.
No trouble there. It could be done.
A tooth for a tooth.
My sword sharp.
The law is above all else. Penetrate.
So long lives this, and this gives power to thee. It's alright.
The body is melting. It turns into a seed. So this is how the Manus fight against the restrictions. They sacrifice one man to feed another. Is this some kind of ritual?
In no cave, one can see.
37? Can you hear me?
Mother.
Into geometric symbols. Is it because of the cave? So the seed
is the form of Manus Vindictae.
The forms transcend all matters.
I must make a plan and exercise great care.
Isn't that? It could be found.
My sword sharp. I believe in you.
Good timing.
Intersect and divide.
So long lives this, and this gives power to thee. Regna sereno intenso ad infinito.
Frost you with the armor of the forest.
My sword sharp.
Isn't that?
Thou shalt make an atonement for thy sins in full.
Regna sereno intenso ad infinito.
Time to check my calculation.
I believe in you.
A tooth for a tooth.
It could be found.
Good timing. I know the moon, and this is an alien city.
Feel it pain and know with regret.
Intersect and divide. That's troublesome.
Depict the world I have never seen before.
An eye for an eye.
The final
Atop the
demonstration.
scale of justice.
Each moment, now night.
Noble or lowly, sin shall
Welcome
be
to the
punished.
world of numbers.
Pay for thy sins with thy blood. Resistance is futile. An eye for an
It could
eye.
be found.
My sword sharp.
Penetrate.
Noble or lowly, sin
You
shall
are
be
rather
punished.
remembers.
Regna sereno intenso ad infinito. I believe in you.
The reticent woods are watching
Isn't
you.
that?
I know the moon, and this is an alien city.
I weave the gown with thorns. You shall repay with sacrifice of wounds.
My sword sharp. I know the moon, and this is an alien city.
Frost you with the armor of the forest. No need to worry.
Just wait. With bated breath.
Penetrate.
The reticent woods are watching you.
I weave the gown with thorns. You shall repay with sacrifice of wounds.
It's all right.
Form of Manus Vindictae. It's more distorted than I thought. It's all over.
Using troops?
Vertin, finally! The Manus suddenly emerged everywhere like ants. Lilia and I couldn't take them all down. I would have acted sooner if you hadn't told me not to pick fights.
Bleen, all they want is to attack, even if their blood will be sucked out. Insane! Back when we were spying on them, I told Sanetta to screw the peace agreement through the radio. I knew those geometry psychos and the Manus would go mad sooner or later. They were not that crazy when they were solving the math problems. There! What the hell happened down there?
The cave is the key to be immune to the storm. There is a cave on this island which has the same effect as my suitcase. That's what the Manus are after.
What?
But hasn't she also put on the stone bangle? Even if she can break free from that bangle, there is no way she'd let her followers keep carrying out suicide attacks. And if she has signed that peace agreement, how will she take the cave from a Byron?
Vertin? What's that?
I'm afraid you have overstayed your welcome, Ms. Arcana. I have to regrettably remind you not to overstep the boundaries, despite the great help you've given to us.
I take not thought for needless disputes, but to ask a simple question. The great philosophers, ye seek the ancient wisdom, follow the sage's teaching, and pursue the noble virtues. You are separated from the world for thousands of years, and you have not gained the human's understanding, nor have you sought for it. I find pleasure in this allegory of the cave. However, hast this been unto thee? That too led us to the exile in this cave.
What are they? I've never seen these before.
Why are they here? These things should not appear on this island.
No! 97, no!
Sonetto. Did you bring the humans' army here?